Hi. UFC Mexico recap. PFL versus Bellator, the cringe event that was. Some news, maybe phone calls. Hit the like button. We'll be right back.
Wonderful, wonderful.
It's time for the MMA-Holes!
From the Before They Knew studios of Arizona, we're live with the MMA-Holes.
Wonderful, wonderful.
How you doing, friends? We are here, we are live, and we are wonderful, wonderful. My name is Chris Mystic Moss, King of the Dragons. I will be your host for the evening, and I will take you on this fantastic journey throughout the world of mixed martial arts, combat sports, and all that fun stuff. Shout out to mybookie.ag. The promo code is MMA-Holes for a 10% match on your first deposit. Go on over to mybookie.ag and use the promo code MMA-Holes. Shout out to ESPN Plus and everyone that used our link to pay for the PFL pay-per-view and all the UFC events, the UFC pay-per-view. If you want to watch everything UFC and combat sports or other stuff, I mean, if you want to get the three-piece package with Hulu and all that stuff, go on over to ESPN Plus. Shout out to Undisputed Belts. They give great belts over there, so go to undisputedbelts.com and get your championship belts. Okay, let's do this. How's everyone doing tonight? Everyone doing well? It's good to see everyone here on a Monday night. Every Monday, we recap what happened during the weekend. And this weekend, boy, oh boy, that was fun. 10 hours of live stream went down Saturday afternoon into the evening. We reacted to PFL, Bellator, champion versus champion. And then we rolled into phone calls, which was pretty funny. And then from the phone calls, we went over to UFC Mexico, which was a decent card until the end. A lot of people were complaining about the little guys fighting throughout the card. I put a poll up. Go check out our community section on flyweights, the state of the flyweights. Do you like them? Do you not like them? Go over to the community section and vote on that. But it seems like still in this 60 percentile, people still like the flyweights, but there still is a big chunk of the MMA-Holes community that they're good. They don't need flyweights to fight. One person said it's like watching toddlers fight.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Anyway, let's say hello to the live chat. How's everyone doing on a Monday night? Hopefully your week started off well. I changed my name. Who noticed, if anyone? Oil Check and Pimp. Very nice. Okay, very good. Beautiful. Good choice. Fantastic choice of a name. 60% of my growing is available. Team Craig, buddy. Mosh, you look medium rare, my brother. Do I look? I was messing around with some of the settings a little bit with the lighting settings. Let's see. I have been in the sun. Hold on a second. I confirm. Request review. Now monetize us. Thank you. There's Jamal Hill and Tom Hardy. I look the same. Thought I might have looked different. Oil check and blimp. I don't know. That's the name. I don't know. Pimp, blimp, whatever. I just requested a review. Yes. Every stream. Every single stream I have to request a review. So hit the like button and share this with your friends. I put on Twitter, if there's any stories that you'd like us to chat about, tag us at the MMA-Holes on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it over there. Tag us, or in the, underneath our post for this stream, put over what you'd like us to chat about on top of the topics that we're already going to be talking about. This weekend, we got Biggie Boy returning against Shamil Gaziev. It's an earlier card, so that's kind of cool. Wow, the main card starts at 2 p.m. our time, Mountain Standard Time, and the prelims start at 11 a.m. So we'll be, there's some actual good names, like Ariel Helwani's fighting on this card, which is nice. He did a show today, the MMA Hour without the MMA. Yeah, we don't. That's Rajabov. Okay. Is that Chris? Did he steal Chris Curtis's haircut? Joel Alvarez, big scary dude against Ludwig Klein. Okay. Schnell, he's the guy that fights and his head goes sideways. He's fun. Steve Ursek, big scary Aaron Rodgers looking guy. Cool. Umar's back versus Michael Bisping. Shout out to Sadiq Yusuf. Eric Anders returned. This guy says he's very active. He says he doesn't even have to fight anymore. But what? Jamie Pickett? Huh. What? Hold on a second. We'll get to the Mexico card in a second, but I didn't even notice this. It looks like, yeah, they added the Raul Rosas and Ricky Turcios fight on this card as well. So that's actually pretty cool. That'll be going down this weekend. So make sure you check out Jamie Pickett. Stop. What? How do they match this? How is this a matchup? What? Lost to Josh Fram, lost to Bo Nickel, Dennis Julian, Kyle Daukus. His last one was 2 years, 1 month ago against Joseph Holmes. Wow, they really giving Eric Anders a layup, huh? What's the odds on this? Minus 340. Eric Anders should be a minus fucking 1200. Anyway, okay, that threw me for a loop. Shout out to CJ the Poet King. I was listening to his music. It's a Pickett retirement fight. That's weird, man. They're really throwing Eric Anders a bone. I mean, I hate to say any fighter's a layup. I mean, they're in the UFC, right? But anyway, no, I don't hate it. Eric Anders should destroy him. I was listening to CJ the Poet King. He's got an album drop, and he gave us a sneak peek, which was pretty cool. The album's pretty good. It's funny. The beginning of the album sounds very Eminem-esque, but then you can tell as it progresses, it's like all different genres of hip-hop thrown in there. It was very good. Very, very good. So shout out to CJ the Poet King. Looking forward to seeing, that thing hit the streaming sites, and you got to go check out his album. It's pretty cool. All right. Anyway, got distracted here. But yeah, it's an early event, so make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when we're live for that. Okay? Let's go on over to the Twitterverse over here. And what do you think about that thumbnail? Pretty hot? Pretty sharp, right? That's a pretty sharp thumbnail over there. The PFL trash can. Shall we start with that event? Listen, I went in with low expectations. I was hoping it would be good. It was a $60 pay-per-view. The stuff that was happening outside of the cage was kind of more interesting, with John Jones running around, Francis Ngannou running around, and Mike Tyson. I guess he went in the cage and gave belts to people. They had a nice ring that they put on the belt. I think that was a cool idea. I think the UFC, that would be something that the UFC should steal. Like I said during the live stream, there's something about a Super Bowl ring that's pretty cool in the NFL. Especially when you see guys that are retired and they're sitting as an analyst and they got the ring on, the big obnoxious ring. It's just kind of a flex. And when MMA guys retire, and if they're champions or former champions, and they have the ring on their finger, that's actually a pretty good idea. I'm surprised no one's really done that before. So PFL doing that with the Bellator combination belt, that was cool. The belt itself looked like it was made out of tinfoil. Undisputed Belts does a way better job than the belts that they have there. But anyway, the ring thing was a kind of cool idea. And then they had this like cheesy, let's insert the ring, like some sort of fucking Power Ranger thing or something. I don't know. Voltron shit going on where they put the ring in after the person's hand is raised. The matchups were lopsided and weird, except for the co-main event. Impa Kasangane actually did pretty well against Johnny Eblen, but the result is what everyone thought. A lot of people weren't giving Bader a chance in the main event. I was hoping that Bader would win. Was I 100% confident? No, but I mean, because he's fighting a 6'8" ape of a human being, a Brazilian monster, mongoloid looking dude. Bader goes in there and he just fucking gets knocked out. Like, just gets knocked out clean. Then they don't bring in Francis Ngannou to do the face-off. He just leaves. I don't think he's fighting Ferreira. I think he's sticking with boxing. Maybe, just maybe, if John Jones does cross over with the UFC, maybe, you'll see Francis fight MMA again, but I'm not confident. You have a better shot. Honestly, Conor McGregor returning to the UFC and Francis Ngannou returning to MMA, I feel like we're pretty much the same here. There's a good chance it never happens. There is. Now, I'm staying optimistic. I'm hoping Francis comes back. And I'm staying optimistic that I hope Conor comes back because, listen, it's a big red penny night for everybody when Conor comes back. And it's fun. It's fun leading up to those fights. But anyway, when Francis didn't get in the cage at that PFL event, I mean, that was such a slap in the face, to the organization that paid him so much money. And it's kind of like a weird flex by Francis. Francis seems like a nice guy in interviews, but he seems also very difficult. He seems like a difficult human being, and has every right to be. He's the biggest, baddest man on the planet. He almost beat Tyson Fury. He was the baddest man in the UFC octagon at heavyweight. He got the big paycheck, the FU to Dana White. I'll be fine. I'll sign with them. They'll pay me a boatload of money. He's calling all the weirdest contract in the world. He signs with PFL, and he could do whatever the hell he wants. All he's got to do is just show up here and there. He doesn't have to fight, I mean, it's crazy. He's allowed to do whatever. Francis is allowed to do whatever the hell he wants. I mean, besides fighting the UFC, of course. But whatever, I mean, even that he could do if the UFC agreed to it. Like, there could be some crossover shit, It's the craziest thing. And Francis just walking around like his shit don't stink, just strutting around. Yeah, I'm not getting in the cage. See you later. I mean, they literally promoted that the winner will fight Francis. The winner of this fight had a crazy knockout over Bader, and watching this happen and Bader crumbling there, you just cringe and say, the matchmaking, what are we doing? Like, what's happening here? And Francis not getting in the cage and facing off with this dude is a big sign, friends, that Francis will never fight in the PFL cage. He has no intentions. Francis is doing whatever the hell he wants, whenever he wants. He could go box. He could do whatever the hell he's just living the life. And I don't blame him. He put himself in that position. So I'm not shitting on Francis Ngannou. In fact, it's a G move. But PFL, man, that event, you gobble up Bellator. Majority of your fights, you lose to the Bellator guys. And then in the main event, you have a lopsided mess. I mean, Ryan Bader should have never been in the cage with that monster, right? So the matchmaking is questioned. The whole event was just a disaster. $60 for a pay-per-view. Madness. Absolute madness was the PFL event. So I want to know in the chat, how many people actually watched the event on Saturday, whether it was with or without us, or caught the replays of everything? And let me know your thoughts on it. Some people are saying I'm being very hard on PFL. I went in with the lowest of expectations. I mean, the fact that it was too afraid to go against the UFC fight night led me to believe that this is craziness. Like, this is going to be a complete mess. I already knew this. So watching this all transpire on Saturday, I was like, this is not a shock at all. But let me know in the chat what you guys think.
Wonderful, wonderful.
PFL and UFC being under ESPN would be our best chance. However, in 2025 it goes away. Do you think TKO makes their own streaming?
Yeah, I mean, PFL will last as long as the Saudis like playing with them. And thank you, Sonosi, for the $2 donation. If the donations flow tonight, I will open up the phone lines for sure. Thank you, Sonosi. As long as the Saudis are playing around, it's like a toy for them. Yeah, bring it over here. That's fun. Even the arena wasn't even full. Like, there was like when the drone panned out and you saw the whole place, like the lower level had a decent amount of people in there, and then everything else was empty. Like, I don't know how big it is there. I don't know if it's like a soccer stadium or whatever. It looked pretty big, but I mean, there were just people scattered in the upper bowl section, and then down below you saw everyone. So, I mean, everything seemed embarrassing about that event. Honestly, I don't know how many people actually bought the pay-per-view for PFL. One person in our chat fessed up to it out of the hundreds that were in the chat. I'm assuming it did pretty bad. I was looking at our ESPN numbers when we have that affiliate link in the live chat. I didn't see one person use it for PFL. Not one. So, I think they did really, really bad. I'd be shocked if we find out what kind of numbers they hit on that. And you got to think the Saudis spending all this money on the PFL. What are, how long are they going to go with this? Like until it gets boring and they're like, let's just make a bunch of money in boxing, and do that kind of stuff. So I think it all comes down to that. PFL needs to do something quick, really quick, because they can't be throwing money all over the place with this product right now. Now you have Jake Paul attached to it. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of circus event with him. But the kids that follow Jake Paul are kids. None of them buy pay-per-views. No children buy pay-per-views. They all have a link. They all know, hey, there's a stream and anything. They're not stupid, these kids. Plus, they don't have the money for it. They're not going to be shelling out $60. You think a kid, would they rather pay $60 on that or go to the store and get $60 worth of candy or whatever? They don't even have $60 to be throwing around. It's insane. So I hope that PFL could pull it together because, like I said, more competition is better. If the PFL puts out a great product, then the UFC has to up their product and, it goes back and forth and it gets interesting. And if the PFL becomes something spectacular, then the UFC would be like, okay, you bring value, we can cross over. PFL brings zero value to the UFC. Zero. And I got to be honest with you, PFL brings zero value to me. They're fantastic to us to cover them for the media, but zero value to the MMA-Holes. Zero value to any content creator. How many people are covering the PFL? How many people on Monday are saying, hey, let's talk about the PFL? Nobody. I don't know if Ariel did because I saw all his guests were boxing guests. Ariel didn't even cover the UFC. Maybe he did between guests. I don't know. Let me know if I missed that. I didn't watch any of it. But nothing was advertised. I didn't see anything on PFL today. So what is going on? What is the fucking plan? They must, the feeling must be horrific. Here Monday, after what was supposed to be a massive event. Terrible marketing in the lead up. Barely anyone knew what was going on. The only reason why we knew what was going on is because we're constantly plugged in to the combat sports world so we can deliver the news to you guys. But if I wasn't on this show doing this, I would have no idea that PFL versus Bellator was even... I knew there was an event. I just didn't know when. Chael Sonnen was there. Horrific. Chael's a great... Listen, Chael is very good at the YouTube game. I've said this a million times. He was so much fun as a fighter. Okay? But as the color commentator, not very good. Not. He's like a fish out of water. I don't know what it is. He's a good talker. He's got the gift of the gab. But I don't feel as a color commentator... He has it. He has the knowledge, yes. He doesn't have the voice. It's awkward. Even the funniest part was when John Jones was there and Chael Sonnen was on the other side. You got that guy, Chris, in the middle. I forgot his name, the former fighter. And there was awkwardness there. That was funny to watch, but it's not meant to be funny. It's really bad. PFL is really fucking bad. You thought Bellator is bad? The money they're dumping into PFL, I don't know how they're going to get any return anytime soon.
Wonderful,
it's infuriating to watch. Sonosi.
I watched it. I remember saying a prelim fight was more exciting than half the PPV card. Let me run PFL, I'll focus on marketing and abuse that Saudi money. They need a good CEO/Prez even half as good as Dana. Wilder versus Francis modified rules. Boom.
Let's let Sonosi run it. I'm with you on that. Let Sonosi go over there and run that organization. It can't get any worse. It can't get any... Where it is right now, you could have a monkey in control of PFL. And it couldn't get any worse than what it is. He brings up a good point. I think the key right now is you do need a face of the organization. You need a salesman to sell the shit out of their promotion. You need someone to be a Dana White over there in PFL and be the face and be someone that's charismatic, someone that people latch onto, people like or hate. You know, someone that has shareable quotes, that gets all over the place and talks about their product to the point where it's fantastic. But also, you need to have a halfway decent product. You need to have decent matchmaking. You have two organizations merged together, and that's what happens? That's the final product of it? Like, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. The co-main event, fairly interesting because Impus Kansangane actually stepped up. Actually did a pretty decent job. I mean, Bader had no business being in there with that Mongoloid. That 6'8" Mongoloid. No business. And then they don't trot Francis out. AJ McKee gets a win. Hey, how about Aaron Pico? Aaron Pico is a star. This kid could be someone that they could really latch onto, right? But that was Bellator versus Bellator. In the end prelim going into the pay-per-view. It wasn't even, you couldn't tell, you mean to tell me there's not a guy on the PFL roster that you could have go against Aaron Pico to still have PFL versus Bellator and put it on the main card? Because Aaron Pico is a guy that's very interesting. Him and AJ McKee are two shining stars. Somehow it's just not fun. How do you have these chips and they're not fun? D-Man says Pico sucks, but he's exciting. If you think Pico is not UFC caliber, that's fair. You could say that because we've seen Pico lose. We've seen Pico fold in big opportunities. We've also seen Aaron Pico go in there and dominate and annihilate people. The guy is a very good grappler, but he's got bombs in his hands. Pico could be a guy like a Justin Gaethje or some shit like that. But he likes to grapple. He doesn't mind it. What's up, Tony Silo? Tony, what is going on with you lately, man? Thanks for stopping in the chat. But there's always, every time this poor guy is anywhere there's controversy. Listen, you're safe here, Tony. Don't worry about it. We got your back. I don't know what the hell's going on in these other places, but shout out to Tony Silo. So what is the fix for PFL? Sonosi says get him involved, make him the promoter. It needs a whole, honestly, I think it needs an overhaul. I think you've peaked, you've plateaued, you've gone as far as you can go in the Professional Fighters League. I think it needs an overhaul. You know, you got two rosters that you can play with, and Bellator technically is still a thing. Why is Bellator still a thing? Gobble up Bellator. Listen, I like the fact that fighters have jobs. I'm not trying to say I want all these fighters to lose their job, but if the PFL wants to stay in existence, take the best of both worlds and make it one. Do not have fucking two organizations that are trash. Take the two trash organizations and try to fucking put together a tight roster to make it a little more interesting. Everyone else will find a home somewhere. They'll find a home. But if PFL wants to survive, how the fuck do you let Bellator still exist? It doesn't make any sense. I don't fucking get it, man. I honestly don't get it. Like, I feel like, listen, I'm Joe Schmo on the couch. I sit here in my beautiful trophy-filled studio over here. I mean, I got all these goddamn trophies here. You would think they would you think PFL would reach out to me and say, hey, Mystic Moss, help us out here. You're the trophy. You're the fucking #1 show on the fucking internet. Help us. Help us. Yes, I'll help you, PFL. Call me up. Hit me up, PFL. I'll get Sonosi on the line, too. He said he'll run the show. But no, like, seriously. I feel like there's easy solutions here. You got Jake Paul. You got his social media pull. You got Francis Ngannou. You got to find a way to monetize without pay-per-views. You got to gobble up fucking Bellator and spit them out. You bought them. Take their fucking fighters and make one league. Don't fucking make two shit leagues. It's kind of crazy. Like, I mean, I feel like this is easy. This is easy here. After Saturday, heads should roll.
Let's go, champ.
Thank you, JBX 3000 or 30,001. Thank you so much, my man, for being a member. You're a savage. You're a white belt now. Thank you very much. And Dire Goth coming in over here.
Super chat.
Dire Goth dropping deuces on us.
I have returned. Champ has a name, Charles Oliveira.
There you go. You listen. I hope Charles wins, man. I hope he wins. I like Oliveira. I do. Uh-oh.
All aboard.
Trigger.
Seriously though, potential is there and it irks me. Use that cash, get Goldie, hire Michael Buffer. Weaponize celebrities in boxing, hybrid that shit like ONE FC. Am I crazy thinking it? Biagio Ali will be a star they groomed just on legacy.
They have the talent. They have people there. Is it UFC talent? No. Is it the same as no? No, it's very obvious. You look at that league And you can tell it's not even close to what the UFC has on their roster. You got contender series guys in the UFC that could probably be millionaires in the PFL. I said it. I know a lot of people like to, fluff these other promotions up. I should be fluffing them up. I should be licking PFL's ass because they are very kind to us when it comes to media stuff when we ask them that. And I'm not trying to do this in a malicious way. I'm trying to do this in a way to kick them in the ass and say, hey, guys, come on. You're going to fucking fall apart. You are on ESPN Plus. You got the Saudi money. You got some legit talented people there. And you gobbled up Bellator. Mush it together. Figure out a way to not make it $60 a fucking pay-per-view. Match the fighters a little bit better. Give us something a little bit more interesting. Help us. Work with us. It seems like they get a bunch of ideas and then they just throw it. They just throw it at an event and say, oh, okay, there it is. $60. Like, I feel like there's no thought behind any of it. It's so frustrating to watch, man. Saturday's event was such a mess. It was a disaster in a beautiful place in Saudi Arabia with the lights, the production. You had everything. You got every asset you need. How are you putting this product together? It's infuriating. It's trash. It's straight up trash. And if you contact the PFL people, I guarantee, if you hooked them up to a lie detector, they would agree. They would fucking agree. That was a complete nightmare of an event. And there were some people that actually hit us up and responded to us and said, I enjoyed PFL. You think that was worth $60? Come on. Come on, man. That was not worth $60. Even Francis Ngannou walked out early. Think about that. I'm curious what they said to Francis. They can't say shit. Francis has a contract where he could do whatever he wants. You shit on Dana White. A lot of people out there, not you, the other, move over. You over there. Not you. This is why Dana White's so good at what he does. He's an asshole. They need a fucking asshole. They need someone that runs a tight ship and says, no, fuck off. You don't want to be here, get out. That's what you need. You need someone that knows how to sell a product. I think that's where it starts. You need a face of the organization and build it around that. Because I got to be honest with you, without Dana White, the UFC is not the UFC. It's not. Dana doesn't even fight, but he's such an engaging human being. It's why he does all the podcasts. It's why he does a media scrum and it gets a ton of views. Sometimes the media scrums are better than the freaking fights. That's what you need. You need a guy like that. Someone out there that's polarizing, a bigger than life, that can just sell the product. But you need something to back it as well. You can't just have a fucking used car salesman out there, sell the shit out of it, and then put together what we saw on Saturday. They are in trouble, man. I don't know what the hell they're going to do. Can I turn off these Nightbot somehow? After every comment, they talk shit. Here's how you turn Nightbot off. You just click that Streamlabs link and you donate. You'll forget Nightbot's even there. But anyway, chat, let me know what you guys think about PFL. We're going to move on to the UFC Mexico card. We got PFL versus Bellator. Here's the hashtag. I'll check out some of this stuff over here. And like I said, I am not here. I don't want to just shit on PFL. That is not the purpose of the anger that I have towards Saturday night. It's like, guys, get your shit together. It would have been great if that event was awesome rolling into the UFC Mexico card, which had problems as well. Look, this fucking guy. He knocks out Bader. They put him on a fucking on a throne. You're not the fucking king, bro. The king left early. You're not the king. You knocked out a light heavyweight. You knocked out a light heavyweight, bro. But congratulations, man. You got paid. It's not your fault. It's PFL's fault. Johnny Eblin, about to skin your teeth. You almost fucking lost to Impa Kasanganay, a guy that was a UFC reject. You almost lost to that dude. Now, if it was a 5-round fight, this would have probably been the best fight on the main card. Because Impa showed up. This guy is a savage, man. You take him out of Bellator. You insert him into the fucking PFL. Get rid of Bellator. Just get rid of Bellator right now. And by the way, we know people that were on the Bellator roster that aren't in Bellator anymore. So people are not fighting in Bellator that have 3 or 4 fights already over there. So they have already trimmed the fat. Just get rid of it. Squash it, man. There's no need. AJ McKee with his big, he's a very interesting dude, man. He is. He's a Bellator guy. Squash Bellator, bring him to PFL. Make a millionaire over there. I don't know. Here's Francis Ngannou.
Championship ring was actually your idea.
Oh, it was his idea? Dude's coming. Make him the face of PFL.
Now I heard
make him the new promoter.
the championship ring was actually your idea. The super ring. So why was that?
Dude, I love the super ring. I think it's fantastic. They need to combine both organizations. I agree, Vince. One's in the chat. Just fucking do it, man. Even if you combine both organizations, it still might not save them. But at least we're going in the right direction. Why don't they allow grounded elbows? Now, usually they don't because it's like tournament style. And with elbows, creates more damage and guys can't turn it around quick. When it came to Saturday, though, I thought there were elbows. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure there were. Yeah, I did. I like the ring thing. What the hell are you talking about? Are you on drugs? That was one of the few things I complimented was the ring thing. I actually thought it was a good idea.
Oh,
How dare you?
super chat.
This is my 20th dono since I found her channel. Clinking beer mugs. Clinking beer mugs. Clinking beer mugs. Clinking beer mugs. Clinking beer mugs.
Listen, like I said before, we are here because of you. Not just because of all the likes that you give us, but because of the donations. The donations keep us alive. The members keep us alive. And I'm not going to sit here and e-beg and say, oh, guys, please donate it. All I'm saying is thank you, because you're the reason why we could do so many shows throughout the week. So thank you, Dire Goth. Tony Silas says Frankie Edgar should go in the Hall of Fame and take over PFL with a team behind him. Frankie's actually, he's pretty good, man. Like, he speaks his mind. I just don't know if he's that guy. You got to be an asshole. Frankie's not an asshole. You need to be a slime ball. Like Dana White, I think he's good with his clique. Like, if you're in Dana White's circle, you're living good, right? I think he's a great ally to have. And he's probably a great human being to his circle, besides his wife. You know, he probably beats her up. But other than that, he's a dirty salesman. You know, he's a liar. He's a schemer. He sold 300 in a way, and he's not even giving us what he sold us. Yeah, we're still going to pay for the pay-per-view. That's what they need. On drugs for sure, but no. You hated that for shit for sure. The rings. No, I did not. What are you? Clip it, send it to me. Find the clip and send it to me. And I'll play it tonight. If you could find the clip, it's a 10-hour stream. Good luck. But actually, Lil Seal, welcome back, Lil Seal, the timestamp king, coming back in the mix. Thank you, Lil Seal. Actually, timestamped the 10 hours. But yeah, no, I was the one thing that I actually did like, because I said the same exact thing. I said it's like the Super Bowl. You know, it's kind of cool. I said the exact same thing. But Francis Ngannou came up with that, which is pretty interesting. I didn't know that.
And are you looking to get one yourself?
Yeah, because you know, unlike other sports, they walk around with their ring, but us fighter, you can walk around all the time with a big, gigantic belt.
Why not?
I think it's quite heavy. It can fit in your pants, but
it's the truth, man. Fighters, champions, they're doing interviews, they're at events, they got that ring. It's even advertising for the promotion. It's a win on every level. On every level. If you have a big-ass Super Bowl ring for champions, when guys retire, they're still advertising your product. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how the UFC, this passed the UFC. I got to be honest with you, I would rip that idea away from them. You know? If there's some sort of copyright reasons or because like the UFC has the octagon, you can't have an octagon-shaped thing. Work around it. Get a ring as well for the champions. And figure out a way. Maybe put it around their neck. I don't know. Put it on a chain around their neck as you give them their belt. It would make so much freaking sense.
The ring can fit in your finger and you can be everywhere with. And also because like I used to have like ring like this and go to places and people will be like, you play to whose team? I'm like, what? And I'm like, yes, the ring. It's a Super Bowl, right? I'm like, no. Then I think like maybe we should have a Super Bowl, a ring. I mean, we are champions, right?
Dude, when was this posted? I was literally saying this on Saturday. PFL posted this up 4 hours ago. This is the best thing they did. It's a shame it's going to go to waste when in a terrible organization. It's a shame. It's a good idea. But here's the problem with this ring. Okay? This ring only happens when you're crossing champions over, or are they going to have this ring with now their millionaire champions? Like, is there going to be rings for everything? They had a great idea, and then they dropped the ring on the belt for champion versus champion. It should have been just for the PFL champions altogether. That's what it should have been. So I don't know what they're going to do going forward. I'm curious if they ask him.
So we deserve a ring as well.
Now, of course, you got your start in boxing, and then you went to MMA. Now you're back into boxing. But to see MMA now come here in Saudi Arabia in this historic event, what does it mean to you to be an ambassador for the sport and to be a part of this moment in history?
Everything is coming to Saudi Arabia at this point. I mean, even before MMA, you have heard about a lot of football, soccer attractions here.
All right, I think I'm done with that.
Wonderful.
Sanosi.
Okay. Who would you choose to run as their face of the organization? Even just vaguely. My nightmare would be Logan Paul.
I honestly would probably pick someone that is not a celebrity. From scratch. Like, think about this. Dana White wasn't Dana White. He had to become Dana White. Pick a guy that you know is charismatic, guy that's very articulate, good on the mic, hint of sarcasm, you know, little humor in the way he goes. A complete removed person, out of nowhere, face of the organization. I think like when people are saying, oh, Dana White's going to be gone, who are you going to slide in? And people are like, oh, DC, Chael Sonnen. Like, people are saying shit like that. It doesn't work. They are who they are already. You know, you need someone that is just not even in the limelight. Someone that you can just, from scratch, put up in there. Now, raise your hand in the chat if you want to be that person, okay? It could be one of you. Put the link in Discord. If you have the link, yeah, put it in Discord. Elon? He's too known. But I think, personally, I think that's what you do. It's like when Christian Bale was plucked to play Batman. I didn't know who the hell Christian Bale was. Now, he was an actor. He was in some pretty good movies, but still, a lot of people still really didn't know who Christian Bale was. And then look what he became. Ariel Helwani, oh my God, could you imagine? Dude, I'd vomit. That would not help.
Super chat.
Casey Jones.
Let us come together and heal humanity, rainbow, unicorn.
Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Yes. Meguru. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if that would work. He's good in his bubble, you know what I'm saying? Once you bring him out of his bubble, he's not good. Not an influencer, not a YouTuber. Hey, listen, I'd fucking do it. You know? I'd fucking do it. I had no problem doing it. But I don't think any of that would work. I think it's got to be a complete unknown. I did not see, so I saw American Psycho after Batman. I was young when the first Batman came out. Dude, how old? Let's see. When did Batman Begins come out? Yeah, I remember seeing American Psycho after that. I mean, Guru, listen, guys. I know you guys love him, but listen, let him do what he does. You guys are like, it's fucking weird. You guys are getting kind of weird with that dude. Let him do what he does. He's doing phenomenal as he is. Why would he ever want to do anything that would fuck him up? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. He's already got tremendous success. Matthew Klein Cater. Yeah, it can't be someone known. It can't. You know? It really can't do that. Be like that. You saw American Psycho? Yeah, I did. And American Psycho want to be my... But I'm not... Listen, how old... What year did it come out? Batman 05. 2000... How old was I in 2005? Yeah, I was still a young man. Yeah, 2005. Holy shit. That came out in 2005? Crap. Man, time passes quick. Yeah, so when they were casting for Batman Begins, I remember Christian Bale was out there, and I had no idea who the hell he was. No clue. And I had to go back and watch all this shit. American Psycho is probably one of my favorite movies of all time, though. It's such a good movie. I still don't understand American Psycho. Well, that's a conversation for Gummy Gang. Great movie. I almost chased Jesse away. It was the first movie I made Jesse watch with me. Here's Ferreira and Bader. I got to be fucking careful with this shit because, you know, they're assholes. Anyway, this is how he got popped. So Bader was being very aggressive. It was looking like he was trying to push the pace, trying to get him down to the ground, do the Ryan Bader grind, hump and grind. But look at the size difference with these guys. This dude Ferreira is just like, all right, you coming in? Catches a little bit over here. Chin is up. Arm is cocked back and ping! Yeah. And then annihilation. The ref steps in and saves his life. Here's Pico. Pico's a fucking savage, man. He is a savage. I like watching this kid fight. Do I think this guy's the fucking greatest thing? He's going to go over to the UFC and become a champ? No. But I like watching him fight. I do. He's one of the shining stars from Bellator. Francis Ngannou's poke fun at John Jones. Yo, Francis Ngannou calling John Jones fat and shit's hilarious. I tell you what, it's and what about John Jones going to this event, right? Like, I know John Jones is a big boy. He could do whatever the hell he wants. He's doing this whole world tour. He's got this one clip that's out there. It's so funny. He tells a story about how he hit DC in the knee with his knee in the gut and how he did it and DC's reaction. It's actually a really funny clip online. John Jones is living his best life. He's big. He's fat. He's just chilling. He was also asked to headline UFC 300. He's like, nah, man, I'm on the last stage of my career. I'm going to fight when I want to fight. And here these guys are. John Jones, the greatest of all time. Francis Ngannou, the biggest, baddest man on the planet. Like, this is the fight. And the fact that it's not going to happen is just horrific. It sucks, man. It sucks so bad. And it's all the PFL's fault. It's all the PFL's fault. They suck. They suck at what they do. They got Francis. I wish they could put him in a way where it would just make sense for the UFC to do this. None of it makes sense. And we're never going to see it. But here's Francis and John.
Johnny boy.
He doesn't look like he's training. I mean, Jesus. Why are we not seeing that fight? It's ridiculous. What else over here? More of the stuff outside the cage was more interesting. This is funny. Did you guys see this? Francis Ngannou. Like, so on the actual broadcast, this was the bizarre thing which Chell and John Jones. Chell looked like he was scared for his life. And then Francis.
The way that it unfolds is...
I can't really play it. But anyway, he mouths something about him being fat.
What I've always done since day one. Well, it's great to see.
In your dreams, you're fucking fat. That's what he said. In your dream. Oh my God, dude. Jesus Christ. You got fucking Dan Hardy involved in this shit. It's just so messy. But good for Mike Tyson. He's having fun over there. It's just such a shit show. Look at this. Everyone's in the crowd. The crowd is more interesting than the actual what's going on in the cage. You know? It's so nuts. Let's see if there's anything else on this. Oh, there was an awkward exchange with John Jones and Fedor. Oh my God, this was really weird. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Let's see if they have it on here. Jones and Fedor. Look at this. Like Fedor and John went for the kiss on each other. It's so funny. A lot of respect between the boys. Where's the kiss? Do they have it on here? Yeah, I'll go to his Instagram. And then we'll move over to the UFC. A Fedor GOAT. John Jones. John Jones. 8.2 million. Here we go. All right, so there's John and Fedor.
With me.
Oh, fuck, I can't play that. Oh, it's just the pictures? Does he have the actual... Aw, man, where's the awkward? Let's do this. Jones. No hashtag. Oh, here we go. So man, it's kind of cool, right? You got Jon Jones, you got Fedor. I mean, this is a pretty cool scene. But look how awkward this is.
Oh man, stop.
I love you, Fedor. Listen, you're one of my favorites always, forever, brother. Always. You and Alexander. Yeah, tell your brother I said hello.
Johnny Abler.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Okay, so John's saying really nice things about Fedor. I gotta say, I think John's got demons. I don't think he's a bad dude, man. I don't. Like, I just think he's got, when he's sauced up, when he's got the stuff in the system, that's when the demons come out. I think everyday John's probably not that bad of a human being. And you can see how humble he is. But who knows? Maybe he hams it up for the cameras. But from what we hear from the people that are actually friends with him, everyone loves Jon Jones in his circle, right? But this is pretty funny. Let's break this down, okay? Hold on a sec. Here we go. Let me just do this real quick. Okay. So as Fedor and Jon, so John's he's hopping in place, like he's ready. He's like, I'm ready to scrap, like goofing around with him. Fedor's like, nah, bro, just bring it in. He's like, bring it in. So they did a little hug, right? After the hug, they just and it's the weirdest hug too. It's kind of like when you're hugging your daughter, like it's such a bizarre, just wobbly hug that they do with each other, right? They're just madly in love, it's so cute. And the love, and John's like, holy cow, Fedor just gave me that hug, right? So he's bowing. He kisses Fedor's hand, okay? And Fedor's like, fuck that. Let's just go in for the real thing. Fedor's like, let me just try to kiss you on the lips, bro. Kiss my hand, bro. Where I come from, we kiss on the lips, So he kind of dips in for the kiss, right? And it's awkward. And it's like, okay. John looking at him, he's like, did this guy just try to kiss me? So Fedor goes in again. It's just rubbing his fucking head all over. It's like a cat. Meow. Look at him. It's like fucking, he's motorboating John. I don't know what he's doing over here. He's just sniffing him and shit. He's like, black guy. Smell like a black guy.
A black man can't drink.
Let me just motorboat you, bro. Let me just smell you. Dude, I watched this so many times. Like, what is happening? Right? A little talking over here. John saying nice things. Fedor doesn't even understand him. But Fedor is just being humble. John could be like, you're a fucking piece of shit. Fedor would have no idea. He doesn't speak English. But I mean, what an exchange, right? Were you guys weirded out by that? The fucking... Can I smell you?
A black man can't drink.
What is happening there?
Wonderful.
What was he doing?
Francis leaving the UFC remains the biggest FU to Dana and a gamble worth it for him. Him knocking down Fury was my WTF of the year. Not even Strickland or O'Malley. Dude is rich now, Iron Mike training with him, and he likes some big shot now.
I know, Francis. It's a big FU to everyone that doubted what he was capable of doing, right? Or the big mistake that he made leaving the UFC. And I doubted it too. When he left the UFC, I was like, man, I don't know if this is the right move. Boy, was it. Dude, he's living his best life. So I tell you what, fair play to Francis Ngannou. This guy did his thing. And I think PFL made a massive mistake. I think PFL is the one that made the mistake on this, because now they dumped all this money on the dude, and he won't even get in the cage to face off against the heavyweight champ. What they were making the big thing, Whoever wins this fight fights Francis Ngannou. No face off. Francis leaves early, dude. Francis there is no contract. Francis could do it and say whatever the hell he wants. John smells like skunk weed. Fedor's probably just trying to get a contact high. Fedor never smelled a black dude before. Yeah, what do you guys think Fedor was doing there? What was? Oh man, what if Francis? You know what? At this stage, if Francis, it doesn't even matter if Francis loses anymore. He's already stupid rich. Like he could do whatever the hell he wants. He could like lose to Joshua, rematch Fury, lose to him again, just make bags of money and never fight MMA again. Francis is not young. He says he's coming back to MMA. I'll see it when I believe it. I'll believe it when I see it, I should say. I'll believe it when I see it. Ngannou wants to be a white boy, Captain G, bro. Ngannou can sell sand to Arabs. He can do whatever the hell he wants. So that's pretty much it, man. I don't think there's really much more to say about PFL. I hope that they gobble up Bellator. I hope that they do a reboot of the promotion now with both rosters together. I hope they get a face of PFL that is someone that is engaging, and it's like it's all over the place. If you look at PFL, they have stars, like they have like not celebrities, but they have I don't know, fighters from all different walks of life that they just merry-go-round in. Like you just 1 minute this person's commentating, the next minute that person's commentating. You know, they're just pulling people in. Get a consistent group. Get the face of PFL. Let's take this serious. You know, like what's happening? You got a solid production. You got the money behind you. Come on. All right. T-City made me money prop bet submission. Very nice. Let's move into that. Let's move into UFC Mexico. Enough of that. Enough of that silliness of PFL. We literally wasted 50 minutes on PFL, but it had to be said. We had to get that out of our chest. Off our chest, I should say, not out of our chest. Okay, would you guys rate this event? Out of 10, 10 being a phenomenal UFC card. Fight night. Don't compare this to pay-per-views. Fight night. Okay? 10 being a phenomenal fight night, 1 being the worst. Okay? What would you guys give this card that went down? We had some upsets on the card. Main event upset. We had co-main upset. So the upsets were there. You had the Mexican talent in Mexico. You had a fired up crowd, which you're going to show you in a second, the BRAWL, and break that thing down. You had some good things on this card, but there's one reason why I think the ratings will be low. And let me just look in the chat what you guys think. I honestly think that people are rating this abnormally low because of one fight. 5.5, 5.5, a 3, a 5, a 6.8, 6.0, 7. No corruption. Would have been an 8. Yeah, some weird decisions. Mexico's a real shady place, man, to fight. There was weird shit going on. Let's see. It was like beating off with a sandpaper. Shoeface didn't fight. That's why it's a 6.8. We are old, buddy. Hey, listen, we are, man. We just embrace it. 3 out of 10, literally. The lightest card of all time. Wow. Okay. All right. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to give it a 5. Okay. Right in the middle, smack in the middle, a 5. That's what I'm going to give it. But it was because of the main event. And I'm happy Royval won. It's, you know, I like Royval. I think Royval is very aggressive and he's always looking for the kill. You know, Brendan Moreno's game plan, if he stuck with it, he could have won this fight. Some people thought he did win this fight. All he had to do was just keep running, you know, in and out, get the hell out, make it really boring. But then all of a sudden he decided, oh, I'm going to stand in the pocket. You know, I beat this guy already. I'm just going to stand in the pocket. He came in on short notice. I could still beat this dude. And he kind of got exposed. Royval just had the bigger dog in him. The problem with this fight is, you know, you never felt that threat. You never felt that someone was going to go down. You just felt this is going to be a decision, which was a lot of things you felt throughout the card, which doesn't help. You know, you could see a good 5-round fight, back and forth scrap, but you need that threat of carnage. We didn't get that in the main event. And it's weird when you have a guy like Brendan Royval, because when you look at 125, he's one of the guys that sticks out. He's a guy that has a lot of kills on his resume, you know? But when he faces the top guys, he kind of gets nullified. Good for Brandon. I'm glad he got the win. Royval, that is. But as for Moreno, nothing against him. It's just nice to see a little, shake up here. The problem is Royval just got humped to death by Pantoja, and Pantoja owns all these dudes, and he is still the champion. So are we gonna run this shit back? This is not exciting. So the aftermath of this, the last fight of the card, meh, and then there's a meh. What's next? Conversation that could be had. So the whole thing was just weird. Yair versus Ortega was where it peaked. This should have been the main event. We knew it was going to be good, right? We knew that this is going to be a solid scrap. I don't know why. I mean, I understand Royval and Moreno, they're, on top, but Yair and Ortega not too far. They're ranked. It's the better fight. Put that as the main event. I'm sorry, guys, but that is your main event. You made it a 5-round fight. Why in God's name is this the co-main? I don't understand. I just don't get it. That should have been your main event. A crazy first round that went down, and Yair was putting it on Ortega. The crazy part was the roll of the ankle for Ortega. Ortega spoke to the sweet baby Jesus and said, hey, man, don't let it go down like this. And what happened? T-City wound up coming back and looking phenomenal and then finishing Yair Rodriguez. This is a different Ortega. In all the interviews we were listening to, even at the end, and let me just go down this rabbit hole real quick. UFC Mexico. Let me just go through on Twitter so I can show you some stuff. We'll get to the fight in a second. Here is where he rolled his ankle. This is kind of crazy, man. So he hops. I never understood why fighters did this. I understand, there's a reason behind it, but it seems like a recipe for disaster after watching football. I've seen kickers do stuff like this and just fall flat. I've seen guys, any sort of jump. I don't think you should be jumping, But anyway, he stomps down, right? I guess it's to get the blood going or circulating or whatever. And he just, boom. And if anyone's ever rolled their ankle before, I'm pretty sure everyone's done this before. It sucks. It's not fun. The way it just kind of buckles like that. So right off the bat, Ortega starts off on the wrong foot. But he goes out there and gets the job done, right? He goes out there and he gets the win. He gets the submission. Actually, let's go to, where was that finishing sequence? I think it was on here, right? Which is kind of crazy. And he was actually drilling this. There's clips of him drilling it. I mean, Rodriguez was doing his work, man. Rodriguez was just fucking him up in that third round. And then Ortega just took over, or just dominating on the ground. Gets the submission over here. And then when he gets the win, this is the craziest part of the whole thing. Let's see if I could find the clip of it. Mark Goddard is about to raise his hand, and T-City says, no. The hell is it? Is that Rodriguez? Oh, this is where he flipped down a Bisping. Oh, yeah, this is him. This is T-City training the same fucking move. This is kind of crazy. Look at this.
Preparation for Brian's fight. We're in the locker room. He takes down his training partner, Sparks. Look at this. Lands in full mount, climbs the tree, hugs the neck, redirects the arm, and sets up the exact same arm.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
Finish that he uses in the fight just minutes later. Look at that. Same dismount.
That's nuts, man. So anyway, there you go. Same fucking thing. You see this a lot, man. You see this a lot with these fighters. Man, everything's a brawl. We're going to get to the brawl in a second. Anyway, Ortega. Let's see. It's a stoppage. Is this. Where is it? I saw. Oh, here we go. Okay. So Ortega has so much respect for Yair Rodriguez. I missed this during the broadcast. I didn't even see this. That he told Goddard, he's like, listen, don't raise my hand. So here they are. Yair's giving respect to the crowd. The crowd was roaring for him. And here's Ortega going over to Goddard and says, hey, yeah. And Goddard's like, you sure? He's like, okay, I got you. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen that before. I don't recall that. So he's announced and they just give each other a hug. This Ortega, it's so crazy. When I was watching the media scrum afterwards, it's like he's completely found himself, right? He needed to hit rock bottom, whether it was with relationships or personal stuff. Even with winning this fight, it's almost like he needed to roll his ankle in order to get the win. He's become very religious. I don't know how religious he was before, but he's become very religious this time around. And he was saying when he rolled the ankle, he asked God to, don't let this happen like this and this and that. This is a whole different human being. He's humble after the fight. That smug guy that was before in Ortega is just not there anymore. So now you think about it. You take the skill set of Brian Ortega, because he's always had skill. It's not like he hasn't had skill. He's always had incredible toughness. But now with a clearer head, this guy could be right back on track. Solid family life, no drama behind the scenes. The Tracy Cortez thing seemed like it ended pretty bad. I don't know what happened with that. And it doesn't help with the fans, all simping over Cortez and shit like that. So that was probably a weird situation. But now he's with his family, his kids. He's bringing them everywhere, his wife. It's pretty cool to see. I was never a Ortega fan. I always thought this guy was a prick. I don't know, there's something about him in interviews. He just seemed like a dick. Now I listen to the guy talk, completely different man. And that's what happens. People evolve. People grow up, right? Everyone goes through this. Most people do. Some people don't. But most people go through this metamorphosis as they have kids or hit to a certain stage in life, and they see things clearer. This is where we are with Ortega. Overcomes the ankle thing, overcomes a really rough first round, and then goes back and finishes Rodriguez. Will he be a champ? Definitely. You got some hurdles. You got Topuria, who is the champion. You got, who knows what's going to happen with Max Holloway. I still can't even believe he's fighting for the BMF belt when he literally has Topuria there. Like, the belt is waiting for him, and now he's going to get fucked up by Gaethje. Anyway, hopefully that doesn't happen. But, there are still obstacles. You still have Volk there in the picture. I don't know what kind of Volk is next, but I would love to see those two run it back. This is a different guy. Real different guy. That's why I didn't want to put any money on this thing, because there's so much unknown. You don't know if a long layoff, surgeries, Yair's inconsistent, Ortega's inconsistent. Like, you just don't know. Now we kind of have an idea of what kind of Ortega is moving forward. If he could stay healthy, the mental state's right, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. So I want to know what you think about T-City, Brian Ortega. I'm sure you were impressed with his performance. Were you surprised? Were you not? What do you think moving forward? Will he wind up being a champion? Could he beat Topuria? So many questions.
Wonderful.
Sadosi.
People forgot after Fulk and Max, he was the clear third best featherweight prior to recent events. That was why I saw him as an easy W for me. Too durable and best grappling of 145. Ilya better watch out, there'll still be some problems at the division.
Yeah. Ortega's right in the mix. Volk is not the same guy. He's clearly not. Max is about to get brain damage from Gaethje. So Ortega, if he can keep his mind where it is right now, injury-free, shit, man. Sky's the limit with him, man. He looks really good. He's tough. He's got power in his hands. He was like the first one to knock out Frankie Edgar. His grappling is top tier. This is a whole different guy this time around. It's actually, we needed this in 145. We needed Topuria to be champion, switch things up. We needed Ortega to do well. Because let's be honest, Rodriguez he's blue balls. Ortega remembered that Tracy Cortez was in the crowd between rounds. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. He saw her and he's like, all right, okay. Can't be doing this first round thing much longer. Bortega. Whoa, Bortega. You think he's boring? Listen, I'm not an Ortega fan in any way. I've always shit on the guy, but I don't think he's boring. Jihad joins. That's the first time I've ever heard Brian Ortega being boring. Interesting times with these young bucks flying up nearly to... Yeah, well, Ortega is what, 33? So he's not quite young. Sorry, I got a message. Tracy was in the crowd and he started saying, don't keep devil people around, shots fired. Is that what he said? Man, yeah, it sounds like they had a pretty bad breakup, which is weird because Cortez does seem like a sweetheart, but don't believe everything you see. Don't judge a book by its cover, right? You just don't know. Behind closed doors, she could be a complete psychopath. Yair grappling was never great, just okay. He can grapple. No, Yair's slick off his back. He could. It's just Ortega's levels better, right? Yair could grapple. It's not like he can't. He's just an exciting striker. He falls in love with his striking ability. But no, he can grapple. Heard one of them was cheating, possibly. She puts a lady, but I mean, who cares though? You know, at this point, like, who gives a shit, right? They broke up. Something happened. Something toxic was going on in that relationship. But they're probably better off, you know, doing their own thing. He has Ronda Rousey head movement. He does get hit, man. He does. He could take a punch though, man. Joe Mama, that's hilarious. I stopped watching Kill Tony to come to MMA-Holes. I'll go back later. Kill Tony. Dude, how do you guys watch that? It's the most effeminate weirdo shit I've ever watched. My cousin told me to watch it. I was like, man, what is this? It is right over my head. It is really strange, man. It's very, I mean, I don't know, man. That shit could turn you gay. I don't know. Okay, here it is, guys. Tracy didn't want in her arse. Oh, is that what it is? She didn't want it in the butt? All right, how about this? Speaking of gay, here's a good transition. This is a weird video. Brian Ortega explains why he didn't let Mark Goddard raise his hand after beating Yair Rodriguez. Here's just two men in the bed, you know, having a good time. This is a little Kill Tony action going on here.
And at the end, the ref tried to raise your hand up, but you didn't let him raise your hand up. What was that about?
Was this after each other, like, sucked each other's dicks? Like, what's going on? Why are they in bed together? what? This is clearly after the fight. You see the, you know, the damage under the eye.
I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was at the end of the day, it's like, I told him, I said, to raise my hand in front of you, I don't have any problems with you, no issues with you. You've been nothing but a good sport. And it says, just respect, bro. I said, at the end of the day, like, the fans won, they got a show, and it, like, that's it. It's over with.
The fight's over.
Peace sign. It's like, mission accomplished. We did what we had to do. That was it.
There they are. Why are they in bed? What is happening here? I don't know. Take that, Tracy Cortez. Take that. But yeah, this is a different dude. Like, even hearing Ortega talk here, different guy. Doesn't sound like the same dude as before, you know? No, I'm not afraid of the gays. I like to make gay jokes, and yeah, I love the gays. I got a gay brother-in-law. Like, you know, I love gay people. I have no problems with gay people. It's just fun to make gay jokes, you know what I'm saying? Like, Kill Tony is very homosexual. It is. I mean, the lead guy is a gay dude, and it's like, when I was, it's very effeminate, and it's just not, you know, it's not my cup of tea, but if you like it, it's fine. You know? He's bi. That means gay. Like, I have had this argument with Jess too. If you're bisexual, you're gay as well. Like, it's just gay, and it's fine. You could be bisexual, you could be gay, whatever name you want to put on it. As soon as your mouth goes over a penis, that's instant gay. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's fine. You could live like that. I have no problem with that. No issues. It's just not, like, it's just not my content, you know? I think that's fair. Everyone could have their own thing, you know? It's a running joke, bro. Bro. The joke's on you if you're not thinking that guy's gay. I mean, come on, dude. Stop it. Let's see. It depends on the guest. It makes the show from the table. Yeah, it's just not my humor, man. Like, I've watched it a couple of times. I've tried at least. And it's super cringe. And I understand it is supposed to be cringe, but it's just not my thing, man. It's just, I don't know. You know, and I'm not shitting on it. I'm not trying to shit on it. If it's something that you like, that's fine. I have no problem with it, but it's just like, it's weird when people keep bringing it up, and I'm like, I think it's fucking weird, but I don't know. It's shot with like a fucking, not even an HD camera, and it's got like, I don't know, it's got this corny ass crowd, corny ass jokes. The roasting is corny. Everything's corny about it. But you know, it's just not me. Let's see. We already went down the Kill Tony rabbit hole. Lamas isn't, yeah, it's just, I'm not into it, you know, like, oh, it's weird. It is weird. It's like, you know, when people force you to watch a show, I've said this a billion times, you got to watch this show. This show is fantastic. I don't want to fucking watch that show. It's not for me. You know, I've tried to do it. All right. Let's talk about this brawl that happened in the Mexico crowd. It was pretty funny. Dana White said that he's never seen anything like it. He goes, they just let these guys start fighting in the crowd, and security did absolutely nothing about it. Right? He said this at the media scrum afterwards. So I'm like, I got to find this thing. So I was looking around. Now it's everywhere. It's all over the freaking place. So here's like an aerial view. There's 2 views of this, of the crowd just going at it. It's actually really hilarious. I think it's you know, sometimes it's more fun to watch people that just can't throw a punch, right? Go at it. And here we go. Here's a lot of it. I don't know who's security here. Maybe the guys in the black shirts. I have no idea, but they're just letting it go. It's like a mosh pit. This guy gets popped over here. Hold on a second. This guy catches it. Now, how old is this guy, by the way? Like, and what is he doing? Like, this dude just gives it to him. Look at this guy. So coming in slow motion. I mean, he barely even stepped into that thing. It's precision, guys. It looked like he hit him right on maybe on the nose, jaw. No, it's on the jaw. You can see it go sideways. I mean, he barely stepped into that thing. Boom. Woo! And the reaction of the crowd is fucking hilarious. They're delighted. They're delighted. But yeah, look at it. Check it out. Like, what kind of fighting is this? Like, I've never seen anything like it. It's the weirdest brawl I've ever seen in my life. Dude, who fights like this? Can we pay attention to the guys up top, like, before we get to that punch? All right, so you got these 3 dudes up over here. Like, what is this? What is this? This is like when you're with your brothers, you know, and you're just fucking around. Like, this is not fighting. Like, look at him. What the hell is the poor old guy there too? It's like how old is this guy? It's got to be like in his mid-60s or something, right? Right, and then the other guy that comes in. So then you got underneath. You got the dude with the shirt getting ripped off, right? Got bro with the hat's hitting him nice, right? He's hitting him nice over there. There you go. Comes in with the left hand, drops that dude. Then says, "Hey, you want some too?" So this guy gets a 2-piecer over here. He's got the one guy with the shirt off, right? This guy is like the end boss. Comes in, kank. Fucking his ass comes out. Look, his plumber's crack comes down. Not only does he get his fucking shirt ripped off, but his plumber's crack. Whoa, here he goes. And then the old guy over here, he's like, okay, all right. Oh, what the These aren't true Mexicans. I'm going to say that right now, because Mexicans have hearts of lions. These are real fighters, real warriors. I do not know what the hell was going on in that crowd over there. Probably a lot of tequila was in the system for that. We'll just chalk it up to that. But there's another angle too. Hold on a sec. Let's get the other angle so you can get a better view of this clown show. Here we go. All righty. Yeah, look at this. Oh my goodness. 50 G's, baby. Best thing that can happen for fight fans. Fights everywhere. Yeah, I agree, man. I've been to, like, I used to go to a lot of hockey games and football games as well with the Giants. And anytime like Giants Eagles, or mostly the hockey games are the best. I remember Rangers Flyers were the best fights I've ever seen. We've seen some good ones with the Islanders, but Rangers Flyers were the best. I've never come to blows. I've come close, but I've never come to blows at sporting events. Like we've been screaming in each other's face, and it's usually gotten broken up. But I've seen guys like rolling down the row, tumbling, fighting each other. Nutty stuff. This over here, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this though. This is really bizarre. The reason why the security didn't get involved is because there's really nothing happening here. It's just a little senior abuse. Okay, here they go. They're going. So this is where shirt guy goes down. It's a better shot of it. The left hand. There he goes. Whee! He goes down. And the old guy. So the old guy's playing. I don't know what the fuck is going on with those three. The old dude on the right. But he moves over. And as he moves over, he's like, all right, I'm done with them. Turns around. This guy just sucker punches him. Just sucker punched an old guy. Real man right there. Now, I wonder, is there any cartel shit going on here? What do you think? Like bro that put the two dudes down. Any cartel shit going on here? Like, what's happening? The old guy gets up. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, what hit me? Dude, he gets up. What hit me, man? So people are now being held back. Dana White says no one was being held back, but it looks like we do have some security on the scene. Another Dana White lie. But it's not like these guys got ejected, right? It doesn't look like these guys got ejected from the building. So I'm wondering if you know, they don't want any death threats or anything like that. You don't mess with the cartel, you know? Stopped acting like a jackass in my 30s, though. Yeah, I know I was still acting like a jackass. It took until late 30s for me to slow down.
But it is jackass behavior, right? When you're a spectator and you see this shit, you're like, oh my God, dude, what are you doing? What's happening here? I'm curious what started it. Like, what could have started? Like, why did old people just start, like, that dude had to be in his, 50s, 60s, has to, at least. The last guy that got dropped. Plot twist, black guy with security. It had to be, right? I would imagine. Dana said there was no security. It looked like, that's a weird security shirt, too, because usually your security people should be wearing something that stands out in the crowd, right? Because God forbid something happens, right? You see a guy go down with a fluorescent shirt. Now you know one of your men are down. With a black shirt on, you're literally blending into the crowd. So if that is security, it's a really strange choice of shirt for a security guard. Or it should say in the back in big white letters, security or something or whatever. It's really odd. Yeah, it's really odd. Yeah, at least have some big letters on it or something. I don't know what the hell was going on there. What do you guys think? Have you ever been involved in something like that? What do you guys think in the chat?
Wonderful.
Manny C. broke our donation here. What happened?
My public service announcement. My sprinkler goes this. And comes back like SSCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTCHTcHTcH
Thank you for sharing that. All right. So that was the top two. So yeah, Raul Rosas Jr. got injured. Not injured, was sick, but he's fighting this weekend, which is great. It's fantastic. So we thought that he wouldn't show up at the media scrum. He did. So here you go, guys. This is Raul Rosas Jr. addressing the media right after, the events, and everyone was, are you okay? And this is what happened here.
Well said. Here's Merab Dvalishvili, a real Mexican pride over here. He's living his best life. He defeats Henry Cejudo and pulled all the Mexican out of Henry Cejudo, inserted in him himself, and he's just doing his thing, man. How could you hate Merab Dvalishvili, right? There he is, doing his thing. This is what Dana said about the crowd, which, I don't know, it seemed like there was security.
What's your final feeling about the event? We know that there was a fight in the crowd that is not...
I love the Mexican accent, too. You guys have the best accent. You get the best food. The best. The best. Mexicans in the chat. Where are you? In the chat, you guys got the best. The accent's great. It's fantastic.
Looks good for the UFC, but what is your final thoughts about this event?
So the fight in the crowd doesn't look good for the UFC?
Not the best woman. No, not the best woman. Sorry. Not the best. No offense. Although Jesse has a little Mexican, running through the veins. But pure bloods, I don't know.
That never happens. That literally never happens. It happened here in Mexico City. The crazy thing about that fight, when that fight broke out, it felt like it kept going forever. So I ran over there and I was watching it. Nobody stopped it. I was waiting for security to come in. They just let him go till it was over. That's one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Now, I'm assuming there probably were other pockets that broke out in fights. That might be the only one. I don't know. I don't think that was the only one. But I'm assuming there probably where he was sitting, he probably saw a bunch of fights break out, right? I don't think that was the only one. I would imagine it was other things, because that's not the craziest thing I've ever seen. I've seen way worse than that. Someone in the chat asked Henry Cejudo not retiring. I think his call out of Brandon Moreno is weak, like really weak. Now, I don't know if he's going down to hold on, let's do this. If he's going back down to flyweight, I don't think he is. I think he's pretty comfortable here at bantamweight, so I guess he's calling up. Hold on, let's play. I don't think it works. Now, what he's trying to do is he's trying to do this for the Sphere event, which I kind of get where he's going with this, but I think run it back with Dominic Cruz. That's what I think. Loser retires. You know what I'm saying?
Una vez cuando yo perdí, yo la verdad lo que podemos.
Okay.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I am not leaving. Guys, yeah, Saturday night, dude. It took me a minute. Was it?
By the way, the Sphere event, UFC 306, is in September. That is what I'm targeting. If I could get my ass to Vegas, September is what I'm targeting. So if anyone's going to be in Vegas around Sphere, UFC 306, I'm not going to be, I would love to be in the building for that. That would be phenomenal. But I have a duty. And I was thinking maybe I should do the freaking Fight Buddies from, I don't know, man, a hotel lobby with you motherfuckers. I was thinking about doing something like that. I would love to do a bar. I would love to fucking, some bar off the Vegas Strip and do something. But September, Sphere, UFC 306, was it Mexican Independence Day? I want to be in Vegas then. So the Vegas meetup, get ready, guys. I'm targeting September. I think we could pull that together. It gives everyone time to start planning and start figuring it out. You might just be seeing me there. But hopefully I get Jesse with me too. That's what I'm targeting. So get ready. Make the meetup next summer. Will be much better. Things will be better by then. Shit's going to get rough here soon. Well, listen, I know not everyone's going to be able to make it. I'm trying to get one Vegas trip in before this year is up. So I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to get that going. The Sphere, yeah, so Sphere supposedly, here we go. So look, what fight would be better than Triple C versus Brandon Moreno, the Mexican American versus the true Mexican? I understand where he's going with this, and he's like, Moreno just took an L. He's fighting at 125. There's beef. But come on, man. Stop it. You just got your ass whooped. You're trying to fight someone that you could beat, right? That's what's happening here. Fight Dom Cruz. You beat him already. Fight Dom. He's got the blood. Doesn't he have Mexican blood in him? I don't know. Help me out. Dominic Cruz. What is his nationality? Hispanic. Where is he from? Fight Cruz again. No early stoppage this time. Run it back. Loser retires.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I am not leaving. Guys, yeah, Saturday night, dude. It took me a minute. Was it all or nothing for me? Yeah, and I meant it, or did I?
So cringe. Hey, listen, I tell you what, he makes it interesting when he fights, so we'll let this thing play out. We'll see. He's not retiring. I'm okay with it, but I want to see, I don't know. If you're going to fight flyweights, go back down to flyweight. Make the weight, go back down, try to get that belt back. Fine. But if you're going to fight flyweights at 135, who cares, man? Like, I don't know, it's silly. No one knows. I can't think of a flyweight right now unless Demetrius Johnson, he's not with one anymore or something. I know he's becoming a content creator, but Demetrius Johnson wants to run it back. I think Demetrius is up 2-0, to be honest, but The rubber match. Okay. Sanosi is buying play tickets for everyone. That's right, baby.
Wonderful.
Sanosi's, yeah. So yeah, September is realistic. I was trying to do summertime, thinking about something like that. I think September would make more sense. The weather would be better, and the UFC being in the Sphere. So let's see, UFC Sphere. All right, UFC to hold first fight at Sphere in Las Vegas. Okay, here it is. UFC 306 will officially be held at the Sphere in Las Vegas. So what I would love to do, I mean, I would love to be there for the entire thing. I might have to just go there maybe a couple of days for fight week, storm the strip, do some live streams, hang out with everybody, and then drive back home, do Fight Buddies. In a perfect world, I would do Fight Buddies there and have, whoever's in Vegas jump in on Fight Buddies with us. It'll be very AIDSy, but I would have to figure out how we would do the production. It might just be a shit phone stream. I don't know. But I think it would be worth it. Should have been for 300. It should have, but I tell you what, this is a big flex because isn't Mexican Independence Day? Wasn't that Canelo's day? Was that Canelo Alvarez fight day? Was that Boxing's day? Right? UFC said, "Hey, we had a good event last year. We're going to take this and now make UFC 306 Mexican Independence Day in the Sphere. This is going to be the biggest. We have a year of UFC 300 and 306. I mean, they're knocking it out of the park, and they're stealing the thunder from boxing. The UFC might be the first combat sport ever in this Sphere. It's kind of crazy, man. But I hear you. The way they were selling UFC 300, UFC 306 sounds like it's going to be better. It's just going to be better. Nate Diaz wants to be on that fucking card. He says, fuck UFC 300, I'll be on 306. It makes sense to have Nate Diaz in there. Could you imagine what the production's going to look like for this thing? The whole fucking dome is going to have, it's all going to be UFC shit. You're going to be not only, you're going to be watching the fights, and then a lot of times if you have shit seats, you look at the Jumbotron, right? And that's not the same. Could you imagine being in the Sphere, having shit seats, and you could barely see what's going on there, but you look up in the Sphere, and the whole fight is in front of you. Giant screen of the fight happening. Bro, it's going to be nuts. And then in between fights, what they're going to be showing on that screen. The tickets are going to be so ridiculously expensive. But I tell you what, too, I might have to just bite the bullet and not do a Fight Buddies and try to get in there for press or some shit. Just to be there for the experience. But I don't know. Knowing me, I'm going to do a Fight Buddies and say, fuck that. Man, it's going to be something, man. This is history. 306 is history. 300's a joke. This is history right here. No matter who they put on the card, the production alone is going to be just mind-blowing. Have you ever seen what's going on in the Sphere? If you haven't, go down that rabbit hole and just guess what the UFC would be doing. It's going to be crazy. So let me know in the chat. Anyone realistically trying to get to that event or would actually be there, during a fight week just to hang during some live streams? Let me know in the chat. If it's realistic, all right, fuck the event. Would it be realistic for you in September, September 14th, right? So the week before September 14th, couple of days, would any of you be even close to being on that strip so we can hang on the strip, do a live stream, fuck with the crowd? The fight week's gonna be nuts over there. There's gonna be shows, a lot of free shit, open workouts. Gonna be a ton of stuff going on. Imagine a show from the Sphere. It'd probably be impossible, unless the only way we can do it is if we had box seats or something like that, where we had like Wi-Fi, or if we had media passes. I just don't think the Wi-Fi. I don't think they would let us stream live from there. Just judging from previous experience, I don't think they would let us do that. It's not like we would show the event, but yeah, I don't think they would let us do it. Realistically, I couldn't, but in the live stream, let's go. All right, fine. Where are we watching it? I want to do. It's too early for me to pull this off, but ultimately, we want to do shows at bars.
Like if an event is in a location, I would love to set up shop. Say if it's in Texas or in Arizona, we probably start in Arizona first. Find a bar so we can do fight week. And then when the fights are going on, if you can't make it to the event, come on over to the bar with us. We do a fight buddies from the bar. I think that would be a blast. Fuck Kill Tony. Could you imagine the MMA-Holes fight buddies at a bar? The whole world watching while we're fucking reacting to the fights. We got a live crowd behind us. Could you imagine what that shit would be like? We've been thinking about that 6 years ago. So hopefully we can get that off the ground. At least once do a crazy event like that. And I would imagine bars would be interested in something like that because think about it. The whole world, like when we have thousands of people watching during a Fight Buddies on a pay-per-view, right? We're literally pimping out that bar that we're at. So that bar is getting insane exposure, you know, worldwide exposure. Be nuts. Start doing hood vlogs, Fight Buddies, Fukia. I don't even know what is hood vlogs. I don't even know what that is. It would be a blast. Yeah, it would. I think it'd be a lot of fun. If there are any events in New Mexico, would you go to those? I mean, it's not far. Not far. I have a lot of ideas in the head that we've been talking about. But first, website off the ground. That's the number one right now. And we are another testing phase in. Hopefully in April, that shit is up. Once that's monetized, the sky's the limit. You know, kids start going to school. Then we can start doing some more shit. But New Mexico's not far, yeah. I think Arizona realistically is probably the first where we'll do something ambitious, you know, with Fight Buddies. And then if it works, then we could say, okay, that worked there. We can do this in other places, you know. I have friends, like in New York, I could probably do bars in New York with no problem. You know, we have bars that I could hit up that we could probably do something cool. So New York would be a place that's realistic. Got to drug 2 joints, get them on a plane, get them over there. UFC not going to New Mexico, no offense. Probably not. But you never know, man. I mean, you never know. You never know.
Wonderful.
BKFC goes to New Mexico a lot, so who knows?
Get something planned, let me know, and there enough notice I'll do it. Next year is Japan and UFC 308 my dollar. So if 306 at a bar would be great.
That would be fun. I don't even drink that much anymore, but I would get high as a kite and do it with you guys. That would be crazy, man. That would be so much fun. That would be like, that's on the bucket list. The MMA-Holes bucket list. I have a whole bunch of things. There are a couple of things I haven't spoken to you guys about, but there is a checklist of things that I will do. By the time this show has run its course, I'm gonna find a lot of fun stuff. There's a lot of fun stuff that I still want to do. Thank you, Sonosi, for the $2. UFC Kentucky sounds like it would never have. UFC Kentucky. Who knows? Hey, listen, they have UFC Utah, right? I mean, I never would think Utah would be a place, and they've gone back a couple of times already. You know, so you never know. UFC 306 at a Waffle House, Buffalo Wild Wings. So that has been in the head. I've been thinking about something like that, the logistics. That would be a rough, but it would be a smart idea, right? To do a Fight Buddies from Buffalo Wild Wings. I will be pitching that probably. That would literally be perfect. The only problem with Buffalo Wild Wings is this: people eat there, right? Families are going there to eat, and if I'm doing my inappropriate humor, you know what I'm saying? You know, if I'm doing clam outs. By the way, like Lou Dog, you know, and some other people have been mentioning things about the clam bit that we did on Fight Buddies. Like we do some really like weird shit. You know, most of our bits are just to hype the algorithm up, you know, to get the algorithm going, getting the chat rate going. There's a lot of shticks and bits that we put together for stuff like that, but we will offend someone, you know. So I think a bar might be the best place, you know. Adults. A divorce courtroom? Sure. Don't come to Utah. It's #1 in best states to live. I tell you what, my cousin moved to Utah and he loves it there. He's working a job and he's got a beautiful house in a beautiful area. So it's a beautiful place to live. It just doesn't like with all the Mormons and stuff like that. It doesn't seem like a place where combat sports would thrive. Yet UFC is gone. So there is a market for it. All right. I don't want to be here all night. Let's see what else we got.
on this card. If there's anything in the chat you guys want to talk about, so Zellhuber and Prado, Dana White gave Prado an extra bonus for not dying. I don't know why they didn't throw in the towel, the corner. I don't know why they kept that thing going. Prado is a dog. He's a tough guy. He's 21. I don't know why they let him keep going in that final round, but Zellhuber got the win. Zellhuber's he's a G-man. Good extreme couture with his camp. Talented young man. Uruguay's a very talented lady. Sam Hughes with her, although, it's a clam fight. Decisions. But she's tough, man. She's got a bunch of finishes on her resume. So she's someone to look out for. So right there, these two prospects they're players. They're legit players. Manuel Torres gets the win over Duncan with the rear naked choke. Annihilation. Barcelos rear naked choke. You got some finishes here, man. By the way, the Barcelos win, I got to give this guy props. This guy was on his way out. Like, he won one fight of his last 5, goes in there, gets the job done. Now, there were things that happened. Fence grabs, which I can't stand. And they just get away with it over and over again. And look what happens. He winds up getting the rear naked choke. Quinonez had a chance to really spoil the party and get an upset win here. He could have taken him down and destroyed him. But the constant fence grabs stopped that sequence and went the other way. Third round, Quinonez gets choked out. So, listen, credit to Barcelos. I'm not saying he's an asshole for what he did. The dude's on his way out, and he gets a big win. So, credit to that. But they need to start immediately taking points for fence grab. If you grab the fence and that stops the takedown, point. I don't give a shit. Take the fucking point. That would deter people from doing that ever again. The dwarf gets the job done over here. Corrupt decision. I don't care what anyone says, and I wanted this guy to win, but I don't know what the fuck they were watching there. Chiriz gets a triangle choke in the rematch. The other guy sucks. Ziem gets the job done on Puelas, split decision. Puelas, I don't know why he's in the UFC. He's a good jiu-jitsu guy. Annoying fight to watch. Ronaldo Rodriguez gets a submission in the second over Bondar. Bondar's a lunatic, but it seems like he's just got no pop in his hands. The guy is a fucking savage, but Rodriguez gets the job done, and Rodriguez is actually a lot of fun to watch fight. Felipe Santos gets a split decision on Altamirano, rigged, corrupt, and it went against the Mexican over here. So you can't say it's because they wanted the Mexican people to win. I don't know what happened. I don't know why. I think Altamirano got that win. I thought that was an upset. And then you had this fluke injury fight win with Naimov, who's a stud. This guy's a lot of fun. It's a shame it ended so early because this guy is real fun to watch. But the card itself, was entertaining throughout. It wasn't bad. And with the big win of Ortega, if it stopped right there, we would have all been like, hey, that was a pretty solid card. But the 5 rounds of this tired everyone out. A lot of people were watching PFL too and were exhausted by that. So by the time we hit this one here, and it was just a snooze fest of a fight, that's why the rating drops. If you just chopped it off at Ortega Rodriguez, it would have been a fucking banger. This literally killed the card. But good for Royval. He's back in the mix. And we have some, I can't even say new blood because he's already been fighting. I don't know. Who cares? Thank you, Casey Jones, for being a double champ. Or gifting a double champ? You gifted it. Thank you, Casey. You're the fucking man, Casey. Gifting double champ status. Okay. Is there anything else you want to talk about? That was for the Kill Tony fans out there. Anything else you guys want to chat about before we go? Shout out to Kill Tony. Moss, I smashed my finger from the car door caused by a huge wind in ABQ, and I don't know if they're broken, but they're bleeding and bruised. Well, I hope you're all right, man. That sounds like it sucks. Two Joints says no, bye. Okay, bye. Casey Jones is a true stoic legend of the community. That's true. He is. That dude always gifts, man. He's like Santa Claus. I actually passed out before a main event, so I had to go back and watch a couple of fights. Okay. Night, guys. Nice to know. Okay, got nothing to talk about. We're good. I'll see you Wednesday night. I think King Ryan's supposed to come back on. The dude that slapped the ish out of his opponent. I think. I don't know. We'll see. I think. Anyway, we'll be here Wednesday. Subscribe to Gun Me Gang for off night streams. What else? Oh, yeah. Don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA hole. And hit the like button. Thank you. Good night.